Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your favorite English news program. On the program today, we have one headline, the purification of Togo. And to discuss that, I have with me in studio Professor Agbeko Wampa. Professor Wampa, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Can you please introduce yourself? Can you introduce yourself?
Okay, sure. My name is Kwame Agbeko Wampa, a former lecturer at the University of Lomé and recently a retired director of the English Language Center, but still very active in English programs.
Yeah. So today we are going to talk about two issues. The first one is going to be on the English Language Center and its programs for this long vacation for students. Then the second aspect of it will fall on the purification of Togo. So, but before that, let's have a brief summary of activities undertaken by the head of state and key personalities of Togo within this week. The heads of states and of governments of the African Union met in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia early this week. Deliberations on the emergence of Africa, held behind closed doors and the plenary sessions, ended on Tuesday. Togo, our dear country, was represented by the head of state for Nyasimbe. Let's have the report. The 29th African Union Summit ended in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia on Tuesday on a good note. Most African heads of states and of governments were at this summit that had as objective the rationalization of ways and manners of operating on the continent. It was also on reforms going on in the Economic Community of West African States (ECOWAS) and the African Union (AU). Excellency Juil, Togolese Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, related that audience received by the current chairperson of the ECOWAS for Nyasimbe showed that a good integrational policy is underway at the level of the regional organization. At the closing ceremony, Alpha Conde of Guinea, chairman of the African Union, underlined the determination and engagement of African heads of states and of governments to embark upon programs and projects drawn for the emergence of Africa and the promotion of youths, women, and all fringes of the African continent. Heads of states and of governments of Africa left the 29th African Union Summit with the conviction that the socio-economic development of Africa cannot impact populations if they don't address the challenges facing the continent and the world today. Nothing is worth forgiveness, reconciliation, and peaceful cohabitation. Nationwide ceremonies aimed at purifying Togo from atrocities and bloodshed of its citizens since 1958 started this week. As stated by the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission, ceremonies began with traditional believers on Thursday. Yesterday was the turn of Muslims. Their prayers for peace and cleansing were said in the presence of the Togolese head of state for Nyasimbe. Muslims gathered around the head of state for Nyasimbe, added to the purification ceremony too. After reading the 114 surahs of the Holy Quran, the chairman of the Togo Muslim Union said they have invited the head of state to be part of them to go through the purification ceremony for atrocities since 1958 to 2005. The chairperson of the Ashkroon, Mrs. Awanana, said these prayers were part of recommendations by the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission. As I've already said, I'm in studio with Professor Wampa. Professor Wampa, you're welcome again.
Okay, thank you.
We are going to start right away with the first question I will throw to you. We've just seen the running commentary on the purification. Yeah. But you said you are a a retired lecturer of the English Language Center.
Yeah.
What do you do at the English Language Center?
Well, at the English Language Center, recently for almost 4 years, I was the virtual director. My title was an acting director of the English. So the administration was done or was under my guidance. So we try to develop programs. We have 4 programs in a year, 4 terms. And then the most interesting one is the one which is about to begin soon, the summer course. Each program is about 40 hours, which we have children's program, then children that is from 3 years of age, then we have youth program from 9, and then we have adult program from 18 years of age.
Okay, before we bring this program to an end, we'll give you ample time to talk to us about the programs we have at the English Language Center. Okay. But the first question I will throw to you is, what is purification?
Okay.
Today we are talking about purification of the country, purification. What can you tell us about that?
Okay, first of all, when we talk of purification, we can look at it in 2 ways. To purify is to make clean, to remove all the dirty elements so that re-establish a new state of the material or the person. Then we also have the second thing as the traditional purification, which is common in Africa. The traditional purification is to prepare the community to have a link with their ancestors, because in the African concept, life and death are along a continuum, so that there is an interaction between the living and the dead. So before you can communicate with your ancestors, you must be pure, and this purification is necessary because the ancestors have superior power over the living, because they live in a different realm, but still they are complete human beings, clothed in a different way, and are in constant contact with their families and things. So the purification is to prepare you to have a better community, and then to have the power to do things that you as the living people cannot do, because they have power over this thing. So you are clean, you are powerful, and you are capable of doing things which are normally beyond your powers.
Okay, so now we just said that we are trying to clean ourselves, to prepare ourselves. And what do traditional Africans and as well as Christians, as Christians will be praying tomorrow to also purify Togo. Then Muslims did it yesterday. So what do all these people feel about this ceremony? Now, after the purification, what next?
Okay, so after the purification, so purification now leads to action. The action is the demands of the living from the dead, because diseases, poor harvests, calamities are things that the living could hardly avoid. But the ancestors, with their help, can now guide the living, because they consider the living as their own children, their own people. So with that, so after the purification, you can now do anything that you want, any social or agricultural, before you go to farm. Okay, with the Igbos, you must offer at least a cock. Okay, with other people you pray. Okay, then every year there are rituals. That is, people come together, they pray. The African God is not different from the Christian or Muslim God. Only the approach to these 3 conceptions are different.
Because we realize that the purification goes through the three religions.
Yeah.
Traditional religion, Muslim, as well as Islam, as well as Christianity.
Yeah.
So it goes through them, which means that they believe in something.
Yeah.
They believe in the purification, I'm sure.
Yeah. Certainly, when you take particularly the African purification, you have to offer sacrifices. You may kill, because you will see something common to Christianity and African purification.
Yeah.
The blood of Jesus in the Christianity washes us clean and saves our lives and prepares us for paradise.
Yes.
The African purification, you still offer blood according to the gravity of the situation. Could be a cock, a sheep, even a cow. And then you also offer drinks, and then you offer special prayers which only the adepts know what the contents of this is.
Yeah.
So when they prepare you that way, you are now pure, ready to interact. For the Christian to purify you, we may have the analogy somehow as, let's say, baptism.
Yeah.
That cleans you. Then from baptism at some age, you are confirmed. And then with this confirmation, you are now a real member of the church.
Okay, Prof, so, I'm going to cut you short. We have a commentary now. We need to be pure in order to benefit from the blessings of the great God, said traditional believers of Togo.
Yeah.
They were all at the crossroads in district capitals to seek for God's mercy on those involved and victims of social political acts. Let's have the report. So, Professor Wampa, you are still with us in studio. This is what adepts or believers of the traditional religion in Chebi did yesterday. That was on Thursday.
Yeah.
That's what they did on Thursday. And you've heard them talking. Yeah. Most of the time they used to say, well, we've given drinks to the enemies. Those we want only for the country to be cool, fresh, and they offer water. What does all those things mean?
Okay. There's a divide in African community. The concept of good and bad in Christianity is applied differently in Africa.
Yeah.
That is, those who follow the tradition, the customs, and respect the elders in all their ways of life, they are considered good. Those who undermine the society are considered as bad.
Yeah.
Then the neighbors, there is always a struggle for survival between various regions. So there's always the need for power to overcome your neighbor, whether it is in war or other struggles.
Spiritual or anything. Yes.
So that here we see a lot of symbolism in the process, killing of goods, holding things to the God Almighty, which is the same God for everybody.
Okay, Prof. Today we are talking about purifying the country, purifying the land of our ancestors. So, what is your understanding about this?
Okay, my understanding is, first of all, they've set a date from 1958 to the present, 2017. Now, there have been periods of violence, bloodshed, and antagonisms between people of the same country and
Yeah.
descent. So, in African concept, it means that some people died in a wrong way. Secondly, they have not been given the proper burial. Before you can be at peace with your community, you must be properly buried according to the local
Yes,
custom.
yes.
Then if you are properly buried, then now you are clothed and have superior power within the new realm.
Yes.
So that is the second thing. Now, so from that, you are able to act. So with this bloodshed, with this violence, political violence,
People not properly buried.
Togo is dirty. So you have to clean it. And to clean it, you have to fall upon all beliefs.
Yes.
But the starting point should be with the traditional believers,
Yes.
because they own the land, they own the power, and then they have a greater interaction between they themselves and their gods.
Thank you very much, Prof. We are going to continue. But to continue, I will bring to you this report, the report on the traditional believers of Togo who were at all crossroads in the district capital to seek for God's mercy on those involved and victims of socio-political acts and violence since 1958. It is a new step in the reconciliation process in Togo. Amongst recommendations by the Togolese Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission put in place in 2009, the purification ceremony took the first place on the list of issues to be settled. The objectives of this purification, according to Recommendation 47 of the Commission, was to harness all energies to purify Togo in order to facilitate the peaceful rest of victims, appease hearts, and follow up spiritually Togolese reconciliation. The ceremonies took place in Lomé, Anglais, and all the other districts of the country. Well, Prof, thank you. We have the report on the practices or on the ceremony in some areas of, in some districts of Togo. Now, what is this ceremony, or where is this ceremony leading us to?
This ceremony
Yes.
is leading us to empowerment of Togo. This ceremony is leading us to have peace and understanding with each other. Then we see some symbolisms in the act. First of all, the humility, talking to the God, praying for their understanding and forgiveness. And even if we look, we saw that some plant was dragged on the ground,
Yes, yes.
which is a symbol of purification. Now in our houses, we always sweep almost
yes.
every morning. So this becomes the first step in action of the day. So when you do that, then now when you come back, then you see that the rest of it is accompanied by three things. First of all, the drumming,
Yes.
the music, and the dance. They are all appropriate for the occasion. When you go through all this, then now you come back to the daily life.
Yes.
And the gods have empowered you to do whatever is your field of interest. Because there are secrets embodied in all this which they cannot reveal to the whole public.
Yes.
But,
Prof, thank you very much. But before you leave the studio, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
You say you are from the English Language Center, and you are a retired lecturer of the English Language Center. And I know for this long vacation you have some few programs for students and kids.
yes.
Can you just brief us quickly about it?
Okay, thank you. Well, the English Language Center has very interesting programs for Togo this vacation. The date for the English course is from the 10th of August to, from 7th of August to 7th of September.
Yeah.
Now registration starts from next week,
Okay.
the 10th of July, up to the 15th of July.
Okay.
But there could be extension of registration because, as in all things, some people come in late, so they make provision for them.
Yes.
Okay, then when the classes start, what do we do? There are so many things which are offered. Our traditional business English, English language, translation, all this. TOEFL is a very important part of our program at the ELC. Now, there's something new and interesting. People feel that what I mentioned take quite a long time. That is 10 weeks to do. So, the English Language Center has developed a fast track, so that if you want to learn English quicker, then when you register, they'll give you audio material, then audio program, so that after classes, you surround yourself with English.
Okay.
You listen to it, and then you do the exercises at home.
Okay, Prof, thank you very much. Time is against us.
Okay.
So I will say thank you very much, all viewers. We hope that this purification goes on well. Tomorrow there will be church services in all churches of Togo, Roman Catholic, Presbyterian, as well as the Baptist Church and the Assemblies of God churches in Lome. We hope to be clear in order to be closer to our God. Thank you very much, Professor Wampa. Thank you very much for coming to our studio. I know you're giving your last words. You've talked about all that this purification issue contains.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Well, viewers, we've come to the end of today's program. I hope to be with you again next week at the same time. Prof, thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.
Yes.